a wonderful place existed.
The Athenians called it
The
Acropolis. Free expression, ethics, art, philosophy. The Acropolis heralded the democracy. But if I told you the Acropolis has returned. Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.
Massive sale going on right now over on theacropolisnews.com. Just use promo codes ANN and July 4 in order to get your first month free and 20% off all auto renews, respectively. With the premium subscription, you get access to all the premium content on the site, like this premium article where I went over the validity of time travel and whether or not it's a question of science. Spoiler alert, it's not. But if you want the full details, you can go to theacropolisnews.com/products, purchase a premium subscription, and make sure to type in those coupon codes.
Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.
Welcome back to the Trevor Report. Let's jump on into it. Georgia Guidestone's monument has been demolished after being bombed. Now, quick caveat, I didn't do a Trevor Report on Wednesday, and the stuff that happened leading up from July 4th, like the day of July 4th, all the way to Friday, at least all the important stuff, I'm going to be doing it right now because it was mainly a lot of he said, she said, a lot of stuff with Jordan Peterson joining the Daily Wire and saying cancel culture is bad. It's like, yeah, cancel culture is bad, you know, and people were talking about it. Don't get me wrong, great stuff, but I had all of the I guess terrorism stuff that I was going to do on Friday anyway to like make sure that I got all my sources correct. And while I don't like talking about shootings, however, it's actually an editorial policy of mine to talk about shootings as little as possible because I believe that fundamentally the reason these people do this is because they're trying to get attention. But the problem is they're doing this and they're getting attention, so I guess I need to bring about an argument as to why, and hopefully you can share this video with other people to, or if you're listening to this on Spotify, share the Spotify audio with people. But anyway, let's jump into it. Georgia Guidestone's monument has been demolished after being bombed. A Georgia monument that has some conservative Christians calling satanic and others dubbed America's Stonehenge was demolished Wednesday after being bombed. It turned one of its 4 granite panels into rubble. Basically, it's these stones in Georgia that give a bunch of instructions on what to do out like after the apocalypse or whatever, and like it's a lot of creepy stuff. Like, don't let the human population exceed a certain total number globally, and it's a very, very small number too. And it's just like it's not even in the billions. And a lot of incredibly crazy and creepy stuff like that, but because this is NPR, I don't even know what to call NPR, because they're not like Snopes, but they act like Snopes in a way. It's weird, but anyway. There's a roadside attraction in Georgia that was already enigmatic before an explosion made it more or so. The Georgia Guidestones are big granite slabs inscribed with messages in multiple languages. The monument was commissioned by someone called R.C. Christian around 1980. Many believe that's a pseudonym. Just before, on Wednesday, an explosion turned one of the granite panels into rubble. It's not clear who did it or why. Well, yeah. It's just terrorism. It's just terrorism. That's basically what it is. And speaking of which, we have to get into the 4th of July parade shooter, because I don't want to, but this is the perfect example of why I don't cover shootings, and so I'm going to bring this as an example right here, or at least I try to cover it as little as possible. I do cover one aspect of mass shootings. It's people using mass shootings to their own advantage. I do cover that, and I basically just tell people to stop, But anyway, Highland Park shooting suspect Robert Cremo III, I almost said Cuomo. Cremo III is a real quiet kid, his uncle says. So basically, look, the long and short of it is that he had a past. He had a YouTube channel where he said a lot of crazy things. His YouTube channel is being blocked, and the Wayback Machine isn't working. For some reason. So well, it's probably because maybe no one saved it. But honestly, there were warning signs. Okay, look at his face. But in all seriousness, those are some of the takes that I've been hearing. Look at him. He must be this. He must be that. And we're going to get into a lot of stuff in a second. But he was wearing drag. Okay, and it's just one of those. I've been hearing reports that he was wearing a Trump flag or whatever on his presumably on his back or whatever, and it's just one of those things where it just, I don't know how to. Actually, I do know how to explain it. It's in this embedded tweet right here. I think Robert Cremo is a psycho. Planned it all out like he's both a Trump supporter and a Biden supporter, perhaps a true accelerationist. He got everyone squabbling over his politics, but at the end of the day, he killed innocents and represents no one but himself. Yeah. Okay, the drag queen stuff, they're just pedophile. They're just pedophiles, right? They're engaging in queer theory praxis, and queer theory states that children are inherently sexual. Okay, they're not murderers, they're pedophiles, right? So I don't know, and Trump supporters don't tend to do Trump supporters don't tend to do queer praxis, and they don't tend to support Biden. But he did have a flag, so it's just one of those things where he just seems to have crafted himself an identity. Basically, I don't know the actual psychology of it, but I'm just gonna call it Batman syndrome, or I don't know. He views himself in this grand light or whatever, and so he's putting on a mask or a facade to achieve his goals. I don't know what his goals are, and quite frankly, I don't care. But you can see, I have this NBC News article that is linked in the description of this video that talked about some of the imagery, and that talks about a lot of the violent imagery of the thing, because, and they have it in their guns in America tab. And the reason I chose this NBC News article is because the entire corporate press, more or less, is guilty of this. But instead of putting this under something more neutral as terrorism, they put it in guns in America. This is treated as a news article when it is acting as an opinion editorial, and this happens all the time. It's stupid. Stop doing it. Please label your opinion stuff. Look, I run a news site, okay? It's literally a click. You click You click the opinion category. You can put more. You could put a post in more than one category. Okay, like come on. All right. But we got to move on to the next segment. So let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted. Okay, Gavin Newsom. Here's the caption for for this video, and it says, "We're about to celebrate Independence Day, but freedom is under attack by Republican leaders in states like Florida, banning books, restricting speech, making it harder to vote, criminalizing women and doctors." Now, with the criminalizing women and doctors part, it's you can't kill a baby in the womb when the baby has a heart that's beating on its, like, honestly, what the hell? Making it harder to vote. Yes, you have to be a citizen of the country and a citizen of a particular state in order to vote in that particular state. Restricting speech. Children putting money on the sliding it in between the thighs and the thongs of drag queens is, and saying you can't bring your child to a strip show. That's, because kids can't consent, because only a pedophile would think kids can consent, right? Teachers can't say that people of this race are intrinsically evil and responsible for all the world's ills because of their race, or people with this pair of genitals in between their legs are responsible for all the world's ills because of the fact that they have that pair of genitals between their legs. Like, that's not restricting speech. The teachers can. Honestly, with some of the bills that were being proposed in Florida that was struck down by the Supreme Court that overturned the murdering of babies on a nationalized industrial scale, like the teachers can still protest that people of this skin color are intrinsically, they could still they could still have talks, they could still do forums, they can go to university campuses, they could do all of these things. Okay, they can, under the bills that were proposed in Florida, you can say all crackers are inherently evil. That's gonna get clipped, but that's protection. That falls under First Amendment protection. It just does. Okay, you can engage in your critical race theory praxis. Right, you can engage in your queer theory praxis, so long as the people who are engaging in your queer theory praxis are of the age of consent. And banning books, you can still buy those books, but the thing is, you can't have math textbooks that say you can't have math textbooks that say that white people are inherently evil. You can't have history textbooks that say that white people are inherently evil. You can't have genocidal propaganda. So this alone doesn't reflect reality, but listen to the video.
It's Independence Day, so let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it hard.
Okay. Making
it harder to vote. Restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors.
Banning abortions after 15 weeks. So about 3 weeks before it can survive outside of the womb with granted medical assistance. This is well within liability law. This was a legal bill when Roe v. Wade, but before Roe v. Wade was overturned. This isn't a restriction on. This is not a restriction on abortion. Okay. Funny enough, Europe has a lot. Europe has some pretty based abortion laws compared to Yankee land. Just gonna say it flat out. But Science bill banning most abortions after 15 weeks.
Doctors,
You know,
I urge all of you living
there's still some abortions taking place in Florida after 15 weeks. Which why?
in Florida to join the fight, or join us in California, where we still believe in freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom from hate, and the freedom to love.
Freedom from hate doesn't mean anything. But
Don't
whatever.
let them take your freedom.
Paid for by Newsom for California.
I'm not gonna... Look, I've already laughed at this like 3 times, so that's why my reaction isn't, you know, but, yeah. That's basically all I have to say to that. And the reason why that's all I have to say to that is because I live in California, okay? Gavin, American Psycho, I call bullshit. All right. California will require many healthcare workers and all state employees to get shots or tested regularly. From the New York Times. California will require all state employees on site, public and private healthcare workers to be vaccinated or face a at least weekly testing. Governor Gavin Newsom announced on Monday. This is a requirement to prove you've been vaccinated, and if you have not, you will be tested, Mr. Newsom said. The California move came a few hours after Mayor Bill de Blasio of New York announced a similar vaccine mandate for all municipal workers to take effect by the time schools reopened in midsummer last week. Inside Gavin Newsom's faithful decision to lock down California. From the LA Times. The LA Times is the same institution that published an article in their news section before they changed it, titled "Larry Elder's The Black Face of White Supremacy," and it reads just like how it sounds. 1 year ago, in the late afternoon, Gavin Newsom walked around the second floor of California's emergency command hub outside Sacramento and into an office where his inner circle of advisors had assembled. A theater-sized screen visible on the ground floor began displaying tallies showing the toll of the coronavirus in the state. At the time, just 675 confirmed cases and 16 deaths. But his administration's models predicted a catastrophic outcome. If the virus spread unabated, more than half of the state's population could be infected in a matter of months. Harrowing reports of patients flocking to hospitals and exercising their freedom of agency were streaming in from New York, along with stories about Italian doctors making on-the-spot choices about which patients to treat or leave to die. Dire warnings of you understand at this point. Come on. Newsom orders all 40 million Californians to stay home in nation's strictest lockdown. From 2020 and Politico. Gavin Newsom on Thursday ordered California's nearly 40 million residents to stay home, making it the first state to impose that strict mandate on all residents to counteract a looming surge of new infections. And these lockdowns did what we in Yankee land, to my European audience, to what we in Yankee land call jack shit. Basically, it did jack shit, right? But that's it's just, in what world, in what universe? No, you're lying. Okay, shut up. But anyway, this is a pretty funny video of where. Honestly, I'm just going to play it. I love this video so much. So stupid. Oh man, Alway DeSantis, Kaiser de America. It's like it's so, it's so good. It's so good. This guy is like a part of the, he's some guy in Florida, I think. Or wait, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who he is, but he's a very funny meme. It's good. It's pretty good memes. Anyway, we got to move on to the final segment. The Netherlands farm crisis explained. 1 in 3 Dutch livestock could lose their business. And what am I doing? What am I doing for time? I'm running low on time. I'm trying to make this a quick one. But basically, I'll leave these 2 articles, one from this institution and one from this institution. I'll just summarize it real quick. Basically, the Dutch aristocracy, I'll call it, has taken on some of the positions of the World Economic Forum, and they want people to eat the boogs. But the thing is, people don't want to eat the boogs if they can eat cattle, because even in places where they do eat boogs, like they don't like. You'd have to eat like. If all 7 billion people on the planet, right, switched from a primarily meat diet to a primarily boogs diet, you would have, like, the insect population would die immediately. Also, people don't want to eat bugs, and the countries that do eat bugs, they eat bugs as, like, a snack. Like, it's not a meal, it's a snack. In between meals, okay. To my fellow Yankees, it's what we like to call an appetizer. Like, come on, like, really, But yeah, so, and obviously Dutch farmers didn't really like this too much, so they decided to pull a Canada, and they're literally like, you're going to take away a huge portion of my income, dude. I literally make your food, and so they're and here's the crazy part too. They're trying to reduce the nitrogen in the atmosphere by 30 to 70%. Okay, nitrogen is natural within the Earth's atmosphere. And by the way, a second a volcano erupts anywhere in the world. Okay, all this climate agenda stuff, it doesn't really mean anything. If you have if all you have to do is have a really bad volcanic disaster somewhere in the world, right? Like one of those, like, where all the smoke gets everywhere, gets everywhere, and like you can't see the country from space because of all the smoke. This happens a lot with volcanoes, by the way. But the second that happens, this climate agenda stuff doesn't really work anymore, because all the carbon and nitrogen and stuff that volcano just put in the air, and basically they're reducing the food in the Netherlands in order to reduce a famine in the Netherlands. And well, here's the thing. One of the ways to prevent famine is to make food. But the Dutch, or I guess Dutch aristocracy, for some reason were like, nah, it'll be fine, brah. Dutch police shoot at tractor during night of farm protests. Dutch police shot at a tractor during a heated night of farm protests and detained 3 demonstrators. The latest incident in a string of protests against government plans to cut polluted emissions that many farmers fear would hurt their livelihoods. And it also hurts the livelihoods of all the Dutch citizens. When there's less meat to go around, meat is more expensive. When meat is more expensive, and it gets to a point where it becomes too expensive, then people eat less meat. When people eat less meat, they're less healthy. The less healthy you are, the less you can work hard, and the less you can work hard, the more energy is required to produce things. The more energy required to produce things, the more things cost. The more things cost, the more do you not get how this works? Just stop. Please stop interfering, you idiot. Honestly, these World Economic Forum people, they're not idiots. It's not really unless you're grandfathered into wealth, it's really difficult to be wealthy and be an idiot. So I'm going to say you midwits then need to shut up and stop helping. Okay, this is not helping. This helps no one. And believe it or not, this probably doesn't even help you. So shut up and stop it. Anyway, in the meantime, my name is Trevor Brown, and you just watched the Trevor Report. Do click the Linktree down below in the description that I was forced to launch because Linktree banned my Linktree. So I made my new one.